Hi, so I hope that you're prepared to take notes at this point. I'm just going to go right ahead if you've got your note-taking implements ready. Otherwise, I suggest you pause the recording until you are ready to begin. Okay? Ready. The procedure is actually quite simple. First, you arrange things into different groups. Of course, one pile may be sufficient depending on how much there is to do. If you have to go somewhere else due to lack of facilities, that is the next step. Otherwise, you are pretty well set. It is important not to overdo things. That is, it is better to do too few things at once than too many. In the short run, this may not seem important, but complications can easily arise. A mistake can be expensive as well. At first, the whole procedure will seem complicated. Soon, however, it will become just another facet of life. It is difficult to foresee any end to the necessity for this task in the immediate future, but then one can never tell. After the procedure is completed, one arranges the materials into different groups again. Then they can be put in their appropriate places. Eventually, they will be used once more, and the whole cycle will then have to be repeated. However, that is part of life. So, how did you do on that? I'd be curious to see your notes. I bet you experienced some cognitive dissonance in wondering how to put this information into a context. There was no topic. It just started in the middle of nowhere. There was no way for you to access your background knowledge or draw on your schema for understanding the concepts we were discussing and the relationships, and maybe most of all, the relevance, the importance, why, what is this all about? Of course, this is a simulation which is deliberately designed to throw you into confusion, but it's not so different from what a lot of students experience in the classroom, especially in an academic area where they don't already have a lot of background knowledge. They come in, they start listening to the lecture or the discussion, they try to capture information without any idea of what might be important and what might be trivial. Okay, so if I were to back up and tell you that the topic of this little lecture is doing laundry. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and reread the first part of the lecture with the notion that you now have in your head about the topic, doing laundry, and see whether you can take notes that are more useful, relevant, or satisfying. Okay, so here we are. The procedure is actually quite simple. First, you arrange things into different groups. Of course, one pile may be sufficient depending on how much there is to do. If you have to go somewhere else due to lack of facilities, that is the next step. Otherwise, you're pretty well set. It is important not to overdo things. That is, it is better to do too few things at once than too many. In the short run, this may not seem important, but complications can easily arise, and a mistake may be expensive as well. Okay, I'm going to stop there just to show you the difference. And also really the significance of bringing to bear our background knowledge and context when we're trying to do the challenging cognitive task of listening, comprehending, sorting information into significant and insignificant details, and trying to determine what is salient or important about this. Okay, so we're going to stop right there.